Bitcoin is digital energy. If you want your company, your family, your endowment to last forever, you have to capitalize it with an asset which doesn't degrade at the rate of, the rate of the dollar is 7% a year for 100 years. When you lose 7% of your energy for 100 years, you lose 99.9% of whatever you are over 100 years. And the only alternative is you got to be an investor. So now you juggle razor blades. It's like, oh, I got to go like build something, a warehouse, and it'll last for 32 years and find a tenant who's not going to pay the rent, and then I get taxed on it, and then I got to go and talk to the politician who created the tax, and I got to run for office, and like your world becomes just one of misery because you're attempting to not lose your economic energy. So, I see Bitcoin as a profound step forward for the human race because for the first time, economics crosses from being an art to being a science. If you take a guy like Jack Dorsey and you ask him about Bitcoin, you say, I didn't do it for the money, I did it to fix the money. The legacy is the English language, electricity, fire, fission, fusion, engineering, right? Telecommunications, right? Mathematics. All of these things are, and what's the legacy here? It's a monetary protocol which is true, right? The history of the human race, if you look at it, it's fraught with people dying from dirty water, dirty air, dirty clothes, dirty environments, dirty everything, right? It's like dirty blood. And overcoming that with electricity and clean water, right? Just the joke is like a poor person sits down at a table and they put a glass of tap water in front of them, and that's what you drink if you have no money. If you have money, you buy a Coke Zero, or if you have a lot of money, you buy a $1,000 bottle of wine. But the poor person drinks the glass of water, and I just finished reading again The Story of Civilization by Will Durant. It's like whatever, the books are all over there. It's 11 volumes, it's 15,000 pages. There's 1,000 stories of famous people that died of gout because they didn't drink water. They drank wine because the water had bacteria in it and cholera, and you died of infection if you drank the water. If you were the king of England, you couldn't get clean water. Then the rest of them died because they walked past a swamp, got bit by a mosquito, and they didn't have any cure for malaria. They had no modern medicine, or they died of tuberculosis because there's no penicillin, or there's no antibiotics, or to treat it. And so today, right? It's like, well, what's your legacy? It's like clean the air, clean the water. What kills the patient? It's dirty food, dirty water, dirty air, right? How did we kill George Washington? We bled him to death. We bled him to death, right? That's why he died. And so what's killing every corporation on earth? It's dirty money, dirty capital to be precise. The asset that every publicly traded company, 50,000 companies use, is sovereign debt. Sovereign debt yields 3% after tax at best, 2%. The cost of capital is 13%. It's a negative real yield of minus 10%. It means that you hold $1 billion, you lose $100 million a year holding the money. It's like forcible chemotherapy for your healthy 14-year-old teenager. Or it's like strapping the 12-year-old kid down and taking 2 pints of their blood every day and sending them off to track practice. The point is, it's medieval, but at the end of the day, that's the scourge, the burden of humanity that they've been hauling for thousands of years. And so when you ask, what is human progress? What elevated the civilization? It's technology, and a lot of painters, they went blind because a middle-class family can afford one candle. Look around you, right? Each one of those is one middle-class family of light. Clean light, clean water, heat, air conditioning, electricity, energy, clean blood, antibiotics, right? A language you can speak, right? All of these things define modernity. So what is my agenda? My agenda is fix the money, because the 50,000 companies have a life expectancy of 10 years. You know why you die in 10 years when you could live forever? It's because you have toxic chemicals in your vein. Right? I can kill a healthy person if I inject poison into their vein. I can kill a healthy person by sucking the blood out of their body. If the money's broken, all 8 billion people, right, have toxic capital. All 300 million companies have toxic capital. Every institution, every nonprofit, every government, every city, every state, every idea, everything you wish to accomplish, you need in part economic energy. You need energy to accomplish it. What is electricity? It's clean, silent energy. It's clean, silent energy. Take away the electricity, look at everything around you. We're in the dark. This podcast is not happening. Clean, silent energy catapult. It created cities. It created Manhattan. It created the modern world. What is Bitcoin? It's clean, silent, programmable, immortal money, right? What's it worth? It's worth half of everything. It's not worth the other half. It won't fly you, and it won't cure your cancer, and it won't make you happy, and it won't solve your mental issue, and it won't make your children love you. It's not all that. And it won't stop a bullet, right? The world's full of stuff, right? Materials and vehicles and technologies and medicines that do things. What is it? It's economic energy. It's the other half, right? It'll solve half the world's problem. I give you energy I give you a battery that doesn't lose its power. You know, what about a battery that lasts forever? Right? I mean, that's the promise of nuclear fusion. Give me a power source I could put in my pocket that will last forever. Now imagine how much better the world is. Bitcoin is digital energy. If you want your company, your family, your endowment to last forever, you have to capitalize it with an asset which doesn't degrade at the rate of, the rate of the dollar is 7% a year for 100 years. When you lose 7% of your energy for 100 years, you lose 99.9% of whatever you are over 100 years. So, yeah, I see Bitcoin as a profound step forward for the human race, because for the first time, economics, crosses from being an art to being a science. For the first time, you have perfect money, or a perfect capital asset, non-defective. Once you understand, see the steel behind you? I have steel vaults. It's material energy. You ever seen a steel refinery? You put a lot of energy in the front, a lot of energy, and out comes steel. And what's the significance? It'll stop a bullet. What else will it do? You can create a skyscraper with it. If you build a 100-story building with steel, it will withstand a storm. It will withstand gravity. You can stand on the 99th floor. The floor will not crash. You will not die. We can build a civilization based on it. What did we do? We built a civilization on steel, the highest form of material energy the human race could channel. Take the steel away. I'm going to give you wood. Go to Nice. Go to Europe, look at the kind of buildings they built before steel. They're all 5 stories max. You take away the steel and electricity, right? Those are 2 big ones. Take away the electricity, you have no elevator. Take away steel, the building falls over. Steel, clean power, clean energy, like almost clean ethereal energy. Can't even see it. Clean invisible energy. And then almost indestructible material energy. Put the 2 together and you build the modern world. And so the problem, as I see it in the economic world, is we never had economic steel. We've had the equivalent of economic balsa wood, economic clay. We built clay houses and brick houses and straw houses. And we built houses on swamps. And the Bible says, build your house on a rock, not sinking sand, Build on a solid granite foundation. So what is Manhattan? It is 100-story steel buildings powered by electricity on schist, closest to granite you can find. That's the recipe for civilization. Okay, that's what Bitcoin is. I'm a single guy. I have no children. When I'm gone, I'm gone. I've got, just like Satoshi left 1 million Bitcoin to the universe, so I'm leaving whatever I've got to the civilization. But it occurs to me that 8 billion people with crypto steel or economic steel can build something much grander in the 21st century than all the 20th century economists struggling with clay and cotton candy.